Hello friends, welcome to my Sakshi coaching channel. Now in this video I am going to read the chapter 5 in the NCERT biology class 11th, that is morphology of flowering plants. So let's start. The wide range in the structure of higher plants will never fail to fascinate us. Even though the angiosperms show such a large diversity in external structure or morphology, they are all characterized by the presence of roots, stems, leaves, flowers and fruits. In chapters 2 and 3, we talked about the classification of plants based on morphological and other characteristics. For any successful attempt at classification and at understanding any higher plant, we need to know the standard technical terms and standard definitions. We also need to know about the possible variations in different parts found as adaptations of the plant to their environment. Example, adaptations to various habitats for protection, climbing, storage, etc. If you pull out any weed, you will see that all of them have roots, stems and leaves. They may be bearing flowers and fruits. The underground part of the flowering plant is the root system, while the portion above the ground forms the shoot system. 5.1 The root. In majority of dicotyledonous plants, the direct elongation of the radicle leads to the formation of primary root which grows inside the soil. It bears lateral roots of several orders that are referred to as secondary, tertiary, etc. roots. The primary roots and its branches constitute the taproot system as seen in mustard plant. In monocotyledonous plants, the primary root is short-lived and is replaced by a large number of roots. These roots originate from the base of the stem and constitute the fibrous system as seen in wheat plant. In some plants like grass, monstera and the banyan tree, roots arise from the parts of the plant other than the radicle and are called adventitious roots. The main functions of the root system are absorption of water and minerals from the soil, providing a proper anchorage to the plant parts, storing reserve of food material and synthesis of plant growth regulators. 5.1.1 Regions of root. The root is covered at the apex by a thimble-like structure called the root cap. It protects the tender apex of the root as it makes its way through the soil. A few millimeters above the root cap is the region of meristematic activity. The cells of this region are very small, thin-walled and with dense protoplasm. They divide repeatedly. The cells proximal to this region undergo rapid elongation and enlargement and are responsible for the growth of the root in length. This region is called the region of elongation. The cells of the elongation zone gradually differentiate and mature. Hence, this zone proximal to the region of elongation is called the region of maturation. From this region, some of the epidermal cells form very fine and delicate thread-like structures called root hairs. These root hairs absorb water and minerals from the soil. 5.1.2 Modifications of root. Roots in some plants change their shape and structure and become modified to perform functions other than the absorption and conduction of water and minerals. They are modified for support storage of food and respiration. Taproots of the carrot, turnips and adventitious roots of sweet potato get swollen and store food. Can you give some more examples? Have you ever wondered what those hanging structures are that support a banyan tree? These are called prop roots. Similarly, the stems of maize and sugarcane have supporting roots coming out of the lower nodes of the stem. These are called stilt roots. In some plants such as Rhizophora growing in swampy areas, many roots come out of the ground and grow vertically upwards. Such roots called nematophores help to get oxygen for respiration. Stem. What are the structures that distinguish a stem from a root? The stem is the ascending part of the axis bearing branches, leaves, flowers and fruits. It develops from the plumule of the embryo of a germinating seed. The stem bears nodes and internodes. The region of the stem where leaves are born are called nodes, while internodes are the portions between the two nodes. The stem bears buds which may be terminal or axillary. Stem is generally green when young and later often become woody and dark brown. The main function of the stem is spreading out branches bearing leaves, flowers and fruits. It conducts water, minerals and photosynthesis. Some stems perform the function of storage of food, support, protection and of vegetative propagation. Modifications of stem. The stem may not always be typically like what they are expected to be. They are modified to perform different functions. Underground stems of potato, ginger, turmeric, Zaminkhand, colocasia are modified to store food in them. They also act as organs of perennation to tide over conditions unfavorable for growth. Stem tendrils, which develop from the axillary buds, are slender and spirally coiled and help plants to climb, such as in gourds, cucumber, pumpkins, watermelon, and grapevines. Axillary buds of the stem may also get modified into woody, straight and pointed thorns. Thorns are found in many plants such as citrus, bougainvillea. They protect plants from browsing animals. Some plants of arid regions modify their stems into flattened, opuntia or fleshy cylindrical euphorbia structures. They contain chlorophyll and carry out photosynthesis. Underground stems of the some plants such as grass and strawberry etc. spread to new niches, and when older parts die, new plants are formed. In plants like mint and jasmine, a slender lateral branch arises from the base of the main axis and after growing aerially for some time arch downwards to touch the ground. A lateral branch with short internodes and each node bearing a rosette of leaves and a tuft of roots is found in aquatic plants like Pistia and Eichhornia. In banana, pineapple and chrysanthemum, the lateral branches originate from the basal and underground portion of the main stem, grow horizontally beneath the soil and then come out obliquely upward, giving rise to leafy shoots. The leaf. The leaf is a lateral, generally flattened structure borne on the stem. It develops at the node and bears a bud in its axil. The axillary bud later develops into a branch. Leaves originate from the shoot apical meristems and are arranged in an acropedal order. They are the most important vegetative organs for photosynthesis. A typical leaf consists of three main parts: leaf base, petiole and lamina. The leaf is attached to the stem by the leaf base and may bear two lateral small leaf-like structures called stipules. In Monocotyledonous, the leaf base expands into a sheath covering the stem partially or wholly. In some leguminous plants, the leaf base may become swollen, which is also called the pulvinous. The petiole help hold the blade to light. Long, thin, flexible petioles allow leaf blades to flutter in wind, thereby cooling the leaf and bringing fresh air to leaf surface. The lamina or the leaf blade is the green expanded part of the leaf with veins and ventlets. There is usually a middle prominent vein which is known as midrib. Veins provide rigidity to the leaf blade and act as channels of transport for food, for water, minerals and food materials. The shape, margin, apex, surface and extent of incision of lamina varies in different leaves. Venation. The arrangement of veins and ventlets in the lamina of the leaf is termed as venation. When ventlets form a network, the venation is termed as reticulate. When the veins run parallel to each other within the lamina, the venation is termed as parallel. Leaves of dicotyledonous plants generally possess reticulate venation, while parallel venation is the characteristic of most monocotyledons. Types of leaves. A leaf is said to be simple when its lamina is entire or when incised. The incisions do not touch the midrib. When incisions of the lamina reach up to the midrib, breaking it into a number of leaflets, the leaf is called compound. A bud is present in the axil of the petiole in both simple and compound leaves, but not in the axil of the leaflets of the compound leaf. The compound leaves may be of two types. In a pinnately compound leaf, a number of leaflets are present on a common axis, the rachis, which represents the midrib of the leaf as in neem. In palmately compound leaves, the leaflets are attached at a common point, that is, at the tip of the petiole as in silk cotton. Phyllotaxy. Phyllotaxy is the pattern of arrangement of leaves on the stem or branch. This is usually of three types: alternate, opposite, and whorled. In alternate type of the phyllotaxy, a single leaf arises at each node in alternate manner, as in China rose, mustard, and sunflower plants. In opposite type, a pair of leaves arise at each node and lie opposite to each other, as in Calotropis and Gavaha plant. If more than two leaves arise at a node and form a whorl, it is called whorl, as in Alstonia. Modifications of leaves. Leaves are often modified to perform functions other than photosynthesis. They are converted into tendrils for climbing, as in peas, or into spines for defense, as in cacti. The fleshy leaves of onion and garlic store food. In some plants such as Australian acacia, the leaves are small and short-lived. The petioles in these plants expand, become green, and synthesize food. Leaves of certain insectivorous plants such as pitcher plant, Venus flytrap, are also modified leaves. The inflorescence. A flower is a modified shoot wherein the shoot apical meristem changes to floral meristem. Internodes do not elongate and the axis gets condensed. The apex produces different kinds of floral appendages laterally at successive nodes instead of leaves. When a shoot tip transforms into a flower, it is always solitary. The arrangement of flowers on the floral axis is termed as inflorescence. Depending on whether the apex gets converted into a flower or continues to grow, two major types of inflorescences are defined: racemose and cymose. In racemose type of inflorescences, the main axis continues to grow. The flowers are borne laterally in an accipital succession. In cymose type of the inflorescence, the main axis terminates in a flower, hence is limited in growth. The flowers are borne in basipetal order. The flower. Flower is the reproductive unit in the angiosperms. It is meant for sexual reproduction. A typical flower has four different types of whorls arranged successively on the swollen end of the stalk or pedicel, called thalamus or receptacle. These are calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. Calyx and corolla are accessory organs, while androecium and gynoecium are reproductive organs. In some flowers like lily, the calyx and corolla are not distinct and are termed as perianth. When a flower has both androecium and gynoecium, it is bisexual. A flower having either only stamens or only carpels is unisexual. In symmetry, the flower may be actinomorphic, radial symmetry, or zygomorphic, bilateral symmetry. When a flower can be divided into two equal radial halves in any radial plane passing through the center, it is said to be actinomorphic. Example: mustard, datura, chilli. When it can be divided into two similar halves only in one particular vertical plane, it is zygomorphic. Examples: pea, gulmohar, bean, cassia. A flower is asymmetric or irregular if it cannot be divided into two similar halves by any vertical plane passing through the center, as in canna. A flower may be trimerous, tetramerous, or pentamerous when the floral appendages are in the multiple of 3, 4, or 5 respectively. Flowers with the bracts, reduced leaf found at the base of the pedicel, are called bracteate, and those without bracts are called ebracteate. Figure 5.13, position of floral parts on thalamus. A. Hypogynous. B. Perigynous. C. Also perigynous. And D is epigynous. Based on the position of the calyx, corolla, and androecium in respect of the ovary on thalamus, the flowers are described as hypogynous, perigynous, and epigynous. In the hypogynous flower, the gynoecium occupies the highest position while the other parts are situated below it. The ovary in such flowers is said to be superior. Example: mustard, China rose, and brinjal. If gynoecium is situated in the center and other parts of the flower are located on the rim of the thalamus almost at the same level, it is called perigynous. The ovary here, it is said to be half inferior. Examples are plum, peach, rose. In epigynous flowers, the margins of thalamus grows upward, enclosing the ovary completely and getting fused with it. The other parts of the flower arise above the ovary. Hence, the ovary is said to be inferior, as in flowers of Gavaha and cucumber and the ray florets of the sunflower. Parts of a flower. Each flower normally has four floral valves, viz. Calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Calyx. The calyx is the outermost valve of the flower and the members are called sepals. Generally, sepals are green, leaf-like and protect the flower in the bud stage. The calyx may be gamosepalous, sepals united, or polysepalous, sepals free. Corolla. Corolla is composed of petals. Petals are usually brightly colored to attract insects for pollination. Like calyx and corolla may be also free, gamosepalous, or united, polypetalous. The shape and color of the corolla vary greatly in plants. Corolla may be tubular, bell-shaped, funnel-shaped or wheel-shaped. Estivation, the mode of arrangement of sepals or petals in a floral bud with respect to the other members of the same whorl, is known as estivation. The main types of estivation are valvate, twisted, imbricate and vexillary. When sepals or petals in a whorl just touch one another at the margin without overlapping, as in calotropis, it is said to be valvate. If one margin of the appendage overlaps that of the next one and so on, as in China rose, lady's finger and cotton, it is called twisted. If the margins of the sepals or the petals overlap one another but not in any particular direction, as in cassia and gulmohar, the estivation is called imbricate. In pea and bean flowers, there are 5 petals. The largest standard overlaps the 2 lateral petals, wings, which in turn overlap the 2 smallest anterior petals, keel. This type of estivation is known as vexillary or papilionaceous. Figure 5.15, types of estivation in corolla. A. Valvate, B. Twisted, C. Imbricate and D is vexillary. Androecium. Androecium is composed of stamens. Each stamen which represents the male reproductive organ consists of a stalk or a filament and an anther. Each anther is usually bilobed and each lobe has 2 chambers. The pollen sacs. The pollen grains are produced in pollen sacs. The sterile stamen is called staminode. Stamens of flower may be united with other members such as petals or among themselves. When stamens are attached to the petals, they are epipetalous as in brinjal, or epiphyllous when attached to the perianth as in flowers of lily. The stamens in a flower may be either remain free, polyandrous, or may be united in varying degrees. The stamens may be united with one bunch or one bundle, monoadelphous as in China rose, or 2 bundles, diadelphous as in pea, or into more than 2 bundles, polyadelphous as in citrus. There may be a variation in length of the filaments within a flower as in salvia and mustard. Gynoecium. Gynoecium is the female reproductive part of the flower and is made up of one or more sepals. A carpel consists of 3 parts, namely stigma, style, ovary. Ovary is the enlarged basal part on which lies the elongated tube, the style. The style connects the ovary to the stigma. The stigma is usually at the tip of the style and is receptive surface for pollen grains. Each ovary bears one or more ovules attached to flattened cushion-like placenta. When more than one carpel is present, they may be free, as in lotus and rose, and are called apocarpus. They are termed syncarpus when carpels are fused, as in mustard and tomato. After fertilization, the ovules develop into seeds and ovary matures into a fruit. Placentation. The arrangement of ovules within the ovary is known as placentation. The placentation are of different types, namely marginal, axial, parietal, basal, central and free central. In marginal placentation, the placenta forms a ridge along the ventral suture of the ovary and ovules are borne on this ridge, forming 2 rows as in P. When the placenta is axial and the ovules are attached to it in a multilocular ovary, the placentation is said to be axial, as in China rose, tomato and lemon. In parietal placentation, the ovules develop on the inner wall of the ovary or on peripheral part. Ovary is 1 chambered but it becomes 2 chambered due to the formation of the false septum. Example, mustard and argemone. when ovules are bound on the central axis and septa are absent. As in dianthus and primrose, the placentation is called free central. In basal placentation, the placenta develops at the base of the ovary and a single ovule attached to it, as in sunflower, marigold. The fruit. The fruit is a characteristic feature of the flowering plants. It is a mature or ripened ovary developed after the fertilization. If a fruit is formed without fertilization of the ovary, it is called a parthenocarpic fruit. Generally, the fruit consists of a wall, a pericarp, and seeds. The pericarp may be dry or fleshy. When pericarp is thick and fleshy, it is differentiated into outer pericarp, middle mesocarp, and the inner endocarp. Figure 5.17 parts of the fruit. First is mango and second is coconut. In mango and coconut, the fruit is known as a drupe. They develop from the monocarpellary superior ovaries and are one-seeded. In mango, the pericarp is well differentiated into an outer thin epicarp, a middle fleshy edible mesocarp, and an inner stony hard endocarp. In coconut, which is also a drupe, the mesocarp is fibrous. Seed. The ovules after fertilization develop into seeds. A seed is made up of a seed coat and an embryo. Embryo is made up of radicle and embryonal axis and one, as in wheat, maize, or two cotyledonous, as in gram and pea. Structure of a dicotyledonous seed. The outermost covering of a seed is the seed coat. The seed coat has two layers, the outer testa and the inner tegmen. The hilum is a scar on the seed coat through which the developing seeds were attached to the fruit. Above the hilum is a small pore called micropyle. Within the seed coat is the embryo consisting of the embryonal axis and two cotyledons. The cotyledons are often fleshy and full of reserve food materials. At the two ends of the embryonal axis are present the radicle and the plumule. In some seeds such as castor, the endosperm formed as a result of double fertilization is a food storing tissue. In plants such as bean, gram and pea, the endoderm is not present in mature seeds and such seeds are called non-endosperms. Structure of monocotyledonous seeds. Generally, monocotyledonous seeds are endospermic, but some, as in orchids, are non-endospermic. In the seeds of the cereals such as maize, the seed coat is membranous and generally fused with the fruit wall. The endosperm is bulky and stores food. The outer covering of the endosperm separates the embryo by a proteinaceous layer called aleurone layer. The embryo is small and situated in a groove at one end of the embryo. It consists of one large and shield-shaped cotyledon known as scutellum and a short axis with a plumule and a radicle. The plumule and the radicle are enclosed in sheaths which are called coleoptile and coleorhiza respectively. Semi-technical description of a typical flowering plant. Various morphological features are used to describe a flowering plant. The description has to be brief, in a simple and scientific language, and presented in a proper sequence. The plant is described beginning with its habit, vegetative characters, roots, stems and leaves, and then floral characters, inflorescence and the flower parts. After describing various parts of the plant, a floral diagram and the floral formula are presented. The floral formula is represented by some symbols. In the floral formula, BR stands for bracteate, K stands for calyx, C for corolla, P for perianth, A for androecium and G for gynoecium. G for superior ovary and G for inferior ovary. This symbol for the male and this symbol for female. For bisexual plants, this is the symbol, and this symbol for actinomorphic and percentage symbol for zygomorphic nature of the plant flower. Fusion is indicated by enclosing the figure within bracket and adhesion by a line drawn above the symbols of the floral parts. A floral diagram provides information about the number of the parts of a flower, their arrangement, and the relation they have with one another. The position of the mother axis with respect to the flower is represented by a dot on the top of the floral diagram. Calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium are drawn in successive whorls, calyx being the outermost and the gynoecium being the center. Floral formula also shows cohesion and adhesion within the parts of the whorls and in between the whorls. The floral diagram and the floral formula in the figure 5.20 represent the mustard plant, family Brassicaceae. Description of some important families. Fabaceae. This family was earlier called Papilionoideae, a subfamily of family Leguminosae. It is distributed all over the world. Vegetative characters: trees, shrubs, herbs, roots with root nodules. Stem: erect or climber. Leaves: alternate, pinnately compound or simple. Leaf base: pulvinate, stipulate, venation, reticulate. Floral characters. Inflorescence: racemose. Flower: bisexual, zygomorphic. Calyx: sepals 5. Gamosepalous. Imbricate estivation. Corolla: petals 5. Polypetalous. Papilionaceous, consisting of a posterior standard, 2 lateral wings, 2 anterior ones forming a keel enclosing stamens and pistil. Vexillary estivation. Androecium: 10. Diadelphous, anther diathecous. Gynoecium: ovary superior, monocarpillary, unilocular with many ovules, style single. Fruit: legume, seed, 1 to many, non-endospermic. Floral formula this is, and economic importance. Many plants belonging to the family are sources of pulses: gram, arhar, same, moong, soybean, edible oil, soybean, groundnut, dye, indigofera, fiber, sun hemp, fodder, cisbania trifolium, ornamentals, lupin, sweet pea, medicine, muliathi. Solanaceae, it is a large family commonly called as the potato family. It is widely distributed in tropics, subtropics and even temperate zones. Vegetative characters: plants mostly herbs, shrubs and small trees. Stem: herbaceous, rarely woody, aerial, erect, cylindrical, branched, solid or hollow, hairy or glabrous. Underground stem in potato, Solanum tuberosum. Leaves: alternate, simple, rarely pinnately compound, exstipulate, venation, reticulate. Floral characters: inflorescence, solitary, axillary or cymose, as in Solanum. Flower: bisexual, actinomorphic. Calyx: sepals 5. United, persistent, valvate estivation. Corolla: petals 5. United, valvate estivation. Androecium: stamens 5. Epipetalous. Gynoecium: bicarpillary, syncarpous, ovary superior, bilocular, placenta swollen with many ovules. Fruits: berry or capsule. Seeds: many endosperms. And floral formula this is, and economic importance. Many plants belonging to this family are source of food: tomato, brinjal, potato. Spice, chili. Medicine: belladonna, ashwagandha. Fumigatory: tobacco. And ornamentals: petunia. Liliaceae, commonly called the lily family, is a characteristic representative of monocotyledonous plants. It is distributed worldwide. Vegetative characters: perennial herbs with underground bulbs, corms or rhizomes. Leaves mostly basal, alternate, linear, extubulate with parallel venation. Floral characters: inflorescence, solitary, cymose, often umbellate clusters. Flower: bisexual, actinomorphic. Perianth, tepal 6, 3+3, often united into tube, valvate estivation. Androecium, stamen 6, 3+3. Gynoecium, tricarpillary, syncarpous, ovary superior, trilocular with many ovules, axial placentation. Fruit: capsule or rarely berry. Seed is endospermous, and this is the floral formula. And economic importance, many plants belonging to this family are good ornamentals like tulip gloriosa and source of medicine aloe, vegetables asparagus and colchicine colchicum autumnale. Summary: flowering plants exhibit enormous variation in shape, size, structure, mode of nutrition, lifespan, habit, and habitat. They have well developed root and shoot systems. Root system is either taproot or fibrous. Generally, dicotyledonous plants have taproot, while monocotyledonous plants have fibrous roots. The roots in some plants get modified for storage of food, mechanical support, and respiration. The shoot system is differentiated into stem, leaves, flowers, and fruits. The morphological features of the stems, like the presence of nodes and internodes, multicellular hair, and positively phototrophic nature, help to differentiate the stems from roots. Stems also get modified to perform diverse functions such as storage of food, vegetative propagation, and protection under different conditions. Leaf is a lateral outgrowth of the stem developed exogenously at the node. These are green in color to perform the functions of photosynthesis. Leaves exhibit marked variations in their shape, size, margin, apex, and extent of incisions of leaf blade lamina. Like other parts of the plant, the leaves also get modified into other structures such as tendrils, spines for climbing and protection respectively. The flower is a modified shoot meant for sexual reproduction. The flowers are arranged in different types of inflorescences. They exhibit enormous variation in structure, symmetry, position of ovary in relation to other parts, arrangement of petals, sepals, ovules, etc. After fertilization, the ovary is converted into fruits and ovules into seeds. Seeds either may be monocotyledonous or dicotyledonous, and they vary in shape, size, and period of viability. The floral characteristics form the basis of classification and identification of flowering plants. This can be illustrated through semi-technical descriptions of the families. Hence, a flowering plant is described in a definite sequence by using scientific terms. The floral features are represented in the summarized form as a floral diagrams and floral formula. Chapter completed. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel to get more videos. Thank you.